Everyone is at fault for the things that are wrong with contracts, but they are choosing to ignore them. This is all mind control, so you need to understand why I don't think I'm endangering myself by being in this situation. If they had just switched to medication, I wouldn't be here, and the problems that sound like they were caused by Freedom High would have been reported on the news. Hollywood appears to be on edge dealing with the apparent revelation of its top secrets day by day, and naturally, netizens appear to be eager for a more thorough and in-depth account of the entire situation. So brace yourself, as this ride is going to be very rough. Kanye West has been making waves, speaking openly about the other darker things allegedly happening in Hollywood and sending shockwaves through the industry. As a result, Hollywood appears to be grappling with the apparent revelation of its top secrets day by day. Shock, Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé are all under their control, according to the mogul, who recently vented about it. In a bizarre video that has garnered widespread attention, Kanye West takes things a step further by discussing the widespread belief in Hollywood sacrifices. Shockingly, he even makes reference to his own mother while expressing his firm belief in such occurrences. "My mama was sacrificed, me too. You understand? Yeah, Michael Jordan. How about him? His father is right." Before making these remarks, Kanye made it obvious that he was not afraid to criticize any of Hollywood's wrongdoers or elites. He strongly stands by his opinions and doesn't hold back. Kanye's theories have aroused interest and worry as he challenges the workings of Hollywood and its purported practices. One person said, "Yeah, please be careful. They hate people who love the Lord and speak the truth. They took my kids from me until I fought for a straight year of video and audio documentation of every encounter, no matter how small. That will be the only reason in that, and God Himself, who is your backing, will bring them babies home to you. We hear you. I know you're telling the truth. Keep speaking it. They will eventually expose themselves. To put it another way, they took my kids from me until I fought for a straight year." After mentioning the death of his mother in 2007, Kanye implied that she had been sacrificed in the same way as Michael Jordan's late father, Bill Cosby's, and Dr. Dre's deceased sons. Kanye believes that certain people are under the control of Hollywood, and that these people fear that their loved ones may be taken from them by the industry. According to Kanye, the motivation behind Hollywood's actions is all about control. He thinks that the industry's elites not only manipulate people, but also subject them to mental torture in order to control and traumatize them. They want to monetize and traumatize, and God loved me, you understand it. He went even further by exposing some of the biggest names in the industry, whom he claims are complicit in the industry's practices. Bill Cosby, right? Dr. Dre, right? You're out in Hollywood. Unbelievably, one of these names was Minister Louis Farrakhan, who defended Kanye in a video that was published on a website. Despite the defense, Kanye added his name to the mix, heightening the alarm and intrigue surrounding these disclosures. "Just for a minute, Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that I took that as a slice, you know what I'm saying. I'll take no disrespect from anybody, so let's get on." There are reports that Hollywood's elites will go to great lengths to keep their grip on artists. It's a pool party, really, and I look up and I see Dr. Ruth. I don't know if you know who that is. Jamie Foxx, in particular, has been vocal about this issue. He revealed the existence of strange and obscene parties hosted by the elites, shedding light on their alleged tactics to exert influence and control. The revelations in the video have left people captivated and concerned about what may have been happening behind the scenes at these events, but one person directed this revelation towards Diddy. He wrote that Diddy's sexuality has been in question for a long time. The Hollywood elites allegedly organized these events with a clear motive to control artists who resisted their influence or refused to comply with their demands. The elites would allegedly entice these artists into attending the parties in order to exert their influence and gain control over them. Jamie Foxx claims that these parties were likely far from ordinary gatherings and seemed to have a specific purpose. Coolio was allegedly one of those victims. He was already convicted of some heinous crimes before joining Hollywood, so when the elites learned about him, they went to such lengths that some conspiracy theorists believe they may have even killed him. Some fans even believe that artists who were already involved in human trafficking and abuse before entering this industry were their main targets. It is possible that they were easy to prey on. One person stated, I don't believe in coincidence. He passes away suddenly and mysteriously after expressing his desire to awaken Black people to their true origins, and after discussing how he has supporters who are willing to stand up and support the movement. It all began when working closely with Hollywood's elite exposed him to many revealing experiences. According to Coolio, during his time of fame in the industry, he never received direct approaches. Messages and directives were instead delivered through intermediaries sent on behalf of those in power if they would come at me. And I think they did it sideways, though nobody ever got at me directly and said, "We want you to join us." He directed this strange action to come at me with something strange. Similar to some gay, my family has said things like, "Oh, you should do this type of thing." The things they allegedly asked him to do were so inhumane that he was shocked, knowing that this is what it takes to get a job in Hollywood. He thought that rejecting them would be good for him in the industry too. However, this decision proved to be even worse for him because the Hollywood elites made every effort to get rid of him by using all kinds of unfair actions, such as ag. Julio suffered a grave injustice when he was wrongfully imprisoned on false accusations and sentenced to time served. The episode began at the Los Angeles airport, where he was detained for supposedly possessing drugs. Insisting adamantly that he had never attempted to conceal any illegal items in his luggage throughout his entire life, Coolio vehemently asserted that he had no knowledge of the pipe and other items discovered in his bag. Coolio's claims were met with skepticism, and despite his unwavering insistence on his innocence, he was not believed. However, during his trials, information came to light that seemed to show Coolio was never involved in such acts. "I think you're one of the most important Black men in America, bro. I think you need to be protected. You're a Native American," which people are now asserting with great certainty. Coolio made bold statements about his intentions to expose the music industry. He openly spoke of having witnessed things that were so dangerous that they could put his life in danger. These Hollywood thugs are said to have assassinated Coolio, and Jamie Foxx wound up in the hospital shortly after reportedly disclosing some sinister information about them. Rapper Jaguar Wright brought up a different instance, recalling with great detail how elites had coerced new singer Christopher Williams into a sexually explicit circumstance. Fans believe that artists are compelled to act in this way in order to gain as many advantages as possible. The wise person also discussed his time spent with these Hollywood elites. According to him, artists were purposefully brought to these gatherings, where they were forced to engage in immoral behavior in order to land record label deals. The elite's motivation behind this terrible practice was to have influence over the artists, because if any of them dared to refuse their approaches or challenge their control, they could simply be silenced by threats. It is frightening that it appears that these deeds were filmed, apparently to generate dark leverage for the future. I'm not a gay man. I've never performed a homosexual act. Nobody has ever played with me, but what happens is that after that last point, you period that, and then in a disturbing revelation, artists may have been forced to sell their souls in exchange for fame and wealth. They may have also been forced to perform unusual acts or even drugged against their will. The smart guy also claimed they were forced to work late into the night to test their stamina and secure deals. According to Dave Chappelle, who claimed he had to flee to Africa to escape the cruelty and shady dealings of Hollywood's powerful figures, there is also a perception that if these elites subject any artists to such gruesome acts, the people in power will also label them as crazy. As a result, Hollywood appears to be in a difficult situation, as Kanye West and other well-known celebrities have bravely come forward to expose the alleged transgressions of the industrious. That's all for today, folks. Until next time, bye. The collective position has caused waves in the entertainment industry and raised critical issues about the behavior and acts of individuals in authority.